Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're great. Maybe you saw today I'm going to talk about hope. And you might be thinking, this girl's talking about hope a lot, which is true. I have another video, which I've linked below, on how to cultivate a lifestyle of hope. So that video is more boots on the ground, practically. How do I tackle everyday problems with the lens of hope and expectancy as opposed to feeling easily discouraged and upset? So check that out if you want. Today, what I want to talk about, and this is actually going to be part one of two videos so that they're a little shorter. What I want to talk about specifically here is how to hope in the really hard times. So in the times that you're waiting and you're not seeing progress, in the times that your heart feels like it can't handle what's before you, but the journey isn't over. In those hard seasons, I want to talk about how do you hope? Because here's the thing. I have not always naturally been hopeful. I honestly used to think hope was kind of this fluffy feeling like vacation and things working out like I want and roses and ice cream and things like that. It sort of seemed like hope was this commodity that I either had or I didn't have. And I honestly couldn't tell you for years why in some seasons or circumstances I had a lot or enough, and in others I didn't seem to have any, and I couldn't figure out how to get more. So today I just want to share a little of my own journey down that path of like, what is hope and how do we do it in those hard times? Because here's the deal. Life is full of beauty and pain. Every season, every day, every circumstance, there are beautiful things and there are painful things. And the reality is that a lot of life is learning how to focus. Where am I putting my focus? Where am I putting my energy? And in some seasons, I'm sure you can all relate, there just seems to be a lot more pain than beauty. And those are the hard ones. And in other times, it seems like the beauty is just overflowing. And it's not hard to hope in those seasons. So in my own life, when I pushed up against this and honestly was pretty humbled by the reality of it, I just sensed God nudging me. Look into what hope really means. You don't have it quite figured out. You're a little confused about it. So I just took him up on that invitation and I started looking at what does the Bible really say about hope? Like, what am I missing and how can I put this into practice in my life? And what I found was a little surprising to me. In the original language, if you just want to Google the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament, there's a ton of verses and passages on hope. And the original text, those words actually, the words that are translated hope in our Bibles, they actually mean to wait for, to trust in, to expect with hope, to have full confidence in God. So there are definitely good feelings involved, like the tone is positive. But waiting, one of the verses that I found, the words are even translated to be pained in the waiting, to patiently wait, which is like painful to hear, right? But the reality is good feelings are involved in what the Bible really means when it talks about hope, but also is waiting. And not only waiting, but waiting in confidence and expectation of God and what He's going to do. So it felt tricky, honestly, because I don't wait well, right? Can anyone join me and admit that waiting is really hard? And it's hard to know what to do when those seasons are really long. It looks like the pain is bigger than the beauty. It looks like the waiting is really long. Maybe you feel like God has spoken to you good things about your future, promises, or put desires in your heart that you know He's going to fulfill. But some days, when you look around, what you see, there's no hope of that happening in your own strength. There's no signs in your life that are like, you're almost there, right? It's really hard in those times. So what I want to do with just another minute or two today is tell you what I found. Because what I found blew my mind. There's a passage in Romans 4, if you want to check it out, I really encourage you to. And it's talking about Abraham. And Abraham is a man who was like almost 100, and God promised him lots of children, and specifically a son. And Abraham was almost 100, and so was his wife. So he knew, we're not creating offspring at this point. Like, that's not in the cards for us. But what this passage in Romans says is that Abraham hoped against all hope. And then it says a couple more things and says, because he was fully persuaded that God had the ability to do what He promised. Okay, this is a game changer. The reason Abraham was an old man and able to remain in hope is because he was looking at God. He wasn't looking at his circumstances, his abilities, his age, his timeline. He knew full well, 100% I can't make this promise happen. 100% I can't. It will not happen if it's not you, God. But it says he was fully persuaded God could do what he promised. And that's the thing, friends, don't miss this. One of the biggest pieces of hope is, where are your eyes? Where is your gaze? What is your hope in? Is your hope in your money, your job, your abilities, your gifts, your talents, your spouse, your friends, your family? Honestly, I just humbly admit that a lot of times mine is. I don't even give God a second thought. I think, I got this. Like, I got this, you know? And then in the really big things in life, when it's clear, I don't got this, like, I can't make this happen, that's when I come back to the reality, oh, the reason I'm struggling with hope in this area is because I was only hoping in my ability. I was only looking at my efforts or strengths, the things that I could do. And this is where it gets kind of good, because it's in those seasons that we come face to face with the reality. Maybe we need to shift where our focus is. So, okay, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to end this. We're going too long here. I'm going to hop on over to video 2, which is where we talk about the reality of, like, how do we do that? Let's do it. How do we do it? But today, the question I want you to ask right now real quick is, think about something in your life that's maybe not marked by hope. I'm sure you can. And then ask yourself, where is your hope in? Is your hope in your doctor, your money, your job, your plans, your abilities? Or is your hope in God? Because that is going to be a really important piece of the puzzle as we move forward and figure out how to truly hope in those really hard seasons. Okay, I'll link the second video below. Hop on over and check it out. And if you would, it would be super helpful. Like, share, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions. If this was helpful, that would be super great to know. And I'd appreciate if you share it. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you in just a second. Bye.